All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to dive into a really powerful framework for understanding how just about everything works. I'm talking from your own personal habits all the way up to the grand sweep of the universe. And the key to it all? It might just be hidden in one single ancient symbol.
So the whole idea this explainer is built on starts it right here. And what it's saying is that life, progress, existence itself, it's not some straight line from point A to point B. It's more like a repeating, looping pattern, a kind of dance, where every single end is just a brand new beginning.
And this is the symbol that just perfectly captures that dance. The Ouroboros, the serpent eating its own tail. And listen, it's way more than just some cool old myth. It's like a detailed blueprint for a mental model that can help us see the hidden machinery humming away behind reality. Okay, so let's jump right in. What even is this Ouroboros framework? What's the fundamental idea it's trying to show us? Basically, the framework says that all of existence is one giant closed loop. Nothing is ever truly lost or brought in from an outside, because in this model, there is no outside. Think about that. Every single thing that happens, every single outcome, eventually loops back around to become the cause of the very next cycle. Okay, so if reality is this big, self-contained loop, you gotta ask, right? What makes it move? What gives it life? And what actually drives change? Well, the thing is, it has to be self-sustaining. The term for this is causa sui, which is just Latin for self-caused. It's constantly recycling its own energy and its own information just to keep itself going. Think of a star that explodes. That explosion seeds the universe with the very elements that will eventually form new stars. The output becomes the input, simple as that. And this whole recycling process, it's not just random chaos. It's actually driven by this constant tension between fundamental opposites. You've got the pull towards unity and order, fighting against the chaos of individual parts, or multiplicity. You've got the static, unchanging rules of the game versus the dynamic, unpredictable flow of the players. And it's this constant tug of war, this creative friction that's literally the engine driving the whole system. So here's where it gets really interesting. This loop doesn't just spin around in the same old way. Nope. It's got 4 totally distinct rhythms. You could even call them dances, and each one has its own unique job in the great cycle. So first up, we've got the stable cycle. This is the rhythm of persistence, of identity. It works through what's called negative feedback, which means its whole job is to pump the brakes on change and pull everything back to the way it was. It's the force that wants to keep things the same. And you see this rhythm, everywhere once you start looking for it. It's in something as simple as a thermostat keeping your room at a steady temperature. It's in the complex social fabric of cultural traditions. And it's even inside your own body when your immune system works to keep you healthy. It's all about keeping things stable, Homeostasis. All right, next we have the adaptive cycle. Now this one's different. Instead of just fighting change, it's all about resilience. It lets a system take a hit, fall apart a little, and then rebuild itself. Usually even stronger than before. It's how things evolve without completely falling to pieces. And this table here breaks down those 4 phases beautifully. It all kicks off with exploitation. They call it the bite, which is a phase of super fast growth. Then you get conservation, or the coil, where things mature and get more structured. But that rigidity can lead to a release, the shedding, which is like a chaotic collapse that frees up energy for reorganization, the renewal. And that is where the real innovation happens. Our third rhythm is called the incremental spiral. Now this one isn't just about repeating the same loop over and over. This one learns. With every single cycle, the system gets just a little bit better, a little more efficient. It's exactly like compound interest or the Japanese idea of kaizen, just constant, continuous improvement. And that brings us to the final, and honestly the most dramatic rhythm of all, the transformative spiral. Yeah, this is a full-on revolution. It's what happens when the old system, the old rules of the game, just can't handle a new reality anymore. The whole system sheds its skin and gets reborn as something totally new. And this revolutionary path, which is based on the amazing work of Thomas Kuhn, it doesn't just happen randomly. It follows some pretty clear stages. It all starts with things being stable, normal science. But then, boom, an anomaly pops up, a fact that just doesn't fit the model. Enough of those anomalies create a crisis, a period of chaos, that finally forces a paradigm shift, a whole new way of looking at the world. Okay, so knowing about these 4 rhythms, it's not just some cool intellectual exercise. It actually gives us a kind of superpower, the ability to start influencing the systems all around us. And the real key here is finding what the brilliant systems thinker Donella Meadows called leverage points. These are like the secret buttons in a complex system where one small, smart push can create a massive change. It really is about working smarter, not just harder. And as this table shows you, not all interventions are created equal, not by a long shot. Down at the bottom, you've got changing simple numbers like budgets or tax rates, and yeah, it has a pretty low effect. But as you move up that ladder to changing feedback loops, the rules, the actual goals of the system, your impact grows exponentially. And the ultimate power? Well, that's at the very top.
And that brings us to the very top. The ultimate leverage point. This is about transcending the paradigm itself. We're talking about changing the entire mindset, the deepest beliefs that the whole system is built on. You change that, you change everything. All right, let's bring this all home and look at how it all comes together in one final, really powerful concept that just perfectly captures the spirit of the Ouroboros. It's called the radiant chomp. It's that ultimate moment of the transformative spiral, where the serpent consumes itself entirely. But listen, this isn't about self-destruction. It's actually this beautiful moment of renewal, where the system basically digests the great unknown, turning it into the known, and in doing so, creates a whole new, higher level of understanding. So, what's the big takeaway here? When you start seeing these patterns, the stable cycles, the adaptive flows, the big transformative spirals in your own life, in your work, in society, you stop being just a passenger getting swept along by the current. You become the one who can actually start to steer. You become a real participant in this incredible, recursive dance of reality.